Alright, back again, Luke here. And as you can see in front of you, today we have another board from Ken6275, and this one is a Time Killers. You can see here it says Time Killers good, and then it says Time Killers bad graphics. So, not sure exactly what's going on with this one, but just a general look over on the board here. It doesn't look too bad. I mean, there are some points where it looks a bit corroded, which we'll probably go back over again on this part. Other than that, a little bit of dust and whatnot. Looks like the label's torn there, not too bad. Flip it over here. See what we have on this side. A lot of these surface mounted chips do have a tendency to crack and fall off, which will cause graphic issues, especially with the IT tech or the IT boards here. Being, what are some of the other ones? The Golden Tee Golf, and I think the other one was like the Street Fighter, the movie. Those all have similar issues here. This is a surface mounted chip we got here, and for the most part, actually, if we take a look at these legs here, I don't know if those are secure or not. Let me see if I can find some way just to kind of push them a little bit, see if they move. Let's use my probe here. Oh, they're actually in place. Those are secure. I thought that they were, seemed like they were actually kind of broken free, but no, those seem secure. But a lot of these surface mounted chips can be the problem with graphics issues. And at the end here, this one doesn't. Once again, these don't look so great. A bit of some old solder and whatnot. But yeah, I mean, I don't see any reason why this shouldn't show something. So let's go ahead and plug this in and check some of that. First off, let's set this down here just so we can get everything squared away. And you have to be careful with this particular board set because the JAMA harness is actually on the bottom. If you flip it over and you put it on like this, you'll fry the board. So it's really, really an odd setup. There are a couple setups like this. I believe there's a Taito one, like the Taito System 2 is like that. And this one. Okay, let's see what we get here. We should be all plugged in. Let's kill the lights and... Alright, well, we're getting nothing. Nothing on screen. You could hear it kind of click for a second. You can hear it there. But it should say like Time Killers. Oh, there we go. That's weird. So maybe it does have some intermittent issues. So far, it doesn't look bad at all. It doesn't look like there's any problems here. Yeah, that looks okay. To be honest, I don't see any graphic issues. I just saw that it took a bit of time to turn on. I know that these boards, another thing here with this board, as well as the Golden Tee ones, they are very picky about power. If you don't have enough power, they won't turn on. I mean, there we go. That's one thing that these boards do, is they will reset if they don't have enough power. So let's crank this up just a little bit more, because I don't think this is enough for this board. These are really big power consuming monsters. Let's see if we can crank this up just a hair more. 482. 49. Let's get this thing about as close to, I think 496, 497. There we go. There's 497. That should be a bit more stable. I think that'll keep the board running a bit smoother. But you really do have to have really strong power for these. Some of the other Gem arcade boards, you can have them run at like 4.8, 4.9, and it's actually a little bit better to run them cooler or less power. But these ones, they just need it. Does it have sound? Yeah, it does. Oh. So well, it's a bit loud. I think this one is also a 4-button one. Watch out for it. Come on. Ugh. It's impossible to play here with one. But it looks like it's playing okay. I don't see any really big issues with it. A couple things we might want to do is like go over some of these RAM chips here. Just to be on the safe side, but power is definitely a big issue with this one. But I would say this board is technically okay. Probably just had you know, low power like we saw there at the beginning, and was doing a reset. It should power up. Yeah, there we go. Yeah, no problems here. Let's see. Go into the test menu. Let's do video diagnostics. I guess that's all they're gonna show is just the monitors are the monitor colors are correct. Just all three monitors so that all text on the screen. Well, as soon as we did that, can't see any of the colors here anymore. That's kind of weird. Just okay. Well, I guess that's just that. There's nothing else really here to check out, I suppose. Up, down, left, right, A, B, C. My, what is it? Supergun only has 3 buttons here, so we won't be able to see the other ones. 1, 2, 3. There should be 2 more buttons here. And player 2, up, down, left, right, A, B, C. Those ones are all okay. Well, I think this board is okay, but in terms of maybe some of the contacts, maybe it's not getting the best contacts on some of these pins here and the surface mounted ones. So as a preventative measure, what I'm going to do is go around some of these surface mounted chips and reflow them just to make sure that they don't pop off the board, which they have a tendency to do over time. Yeah, I guess. Yeah, it doesn't look like we're having any trouble at all. Well guys, this is pretty much a easy fix, or no fix if you want to call it that, except for just some of these kind of corroded points. We'll go over those and try and clean them up, and then reflow the solder on those. That will also give it a more solid fix if those were the problems. But yeah, that's about it for this one. So maybe I'll get on that and I'll show you guys what it looks like afterward. We'll just clean them up and then go from there. So see you guys here in a bit. Okay, so I've disassembled these boards here for the most part, and I've got the top boards off, and it's just the bottom boards we're gonna look at first. Try and move some of these plastic feet. These are really kind of flimsy ones, but actually I might need my pliers to remove these. And then we'll just go over the points at the top here with a little bit of a wire brush here, and then retin them. So it's a little bit trickier. Get that middle one. There we go. Okay, got that one out there. And like I said, let's just go over this. I couldn't find my small wire brush, so we're just going to use one of the bigger ones here and try and clean this up. Without doing this, it may be difficult for the new solder to stick down. You guys can see there, it's kind of polished the pins up a little bit more. This is more of like the before. It might be hard to see, but there's a lot of kind of corrosion there, and then just kind of sweeping through there, cleaning it up. They don't look too bad, but it is something where they should get a fresh coat. And you got to watch out with some of these wire brushes, because you don't want the wire remnants or things to get stuck in places like underneath chips. But that looks a bit more decent. There are 3. This is another one up front that I want to kind of tackle. There's the 3rd one. As you can see, I don't know how well you're going to be able to see that. The dust here is feeling like it's going to make me sneeze. And there's the 3rd one. Like I said, we're going to go back over this with some flux and some new solder. I don't think I'm going to have to remove the old solder on these ones because it doesn't look too tarnished. It just looks like it's just going to need a fresh shot. So I'll go ahead and go through here, just add a little bit of flux on the inside, maybe get some on the outside. And get our soldering pen. This shouldn't take too long at all. Like I said, since we're not really removing anything, we're just adding a little bit just to tin them up. You can hear it kind of pop and crackle. That's a good sign that stuff's a bit old. I'll do this on the other side. I'm going to go through all of these pins on the other boards as well and try and tin them up. This is the drag method. If you have flux on here, you can do it really easily. Without flux, it's impossible. I mean, I shouldn't say it's impossible, but you're going to get bridges, and it's just going to come out really horrible. So and just go back over it with some more flux. Make sure we heat them all up. Get that stuff down there. Like so. And I don't believe I brought my, let me go see if I can grab my, what is it, alcohol, rubbing alcohol? We'll add some of this on here. That should clean things up. Once again, I don't have a very good method here. I'll just add a couple of drops on that. Grab our toothbrush. You can use anything for cleaning, but just as an example, this is what the new pins look like here. So as you can see, they're all nice and shiny, no dull pins and nothing connecting. So that's what I'm going to do with the other pins on this board. I'll go over, like I said, these ones on the sides here and the ones in the back. And I'm going to go over the, where's the other board? Where's the other part? Oh, up here. Yeah, these ones as well. So we'll go across these points because some of them look, I mean, just a bit too tarnished. So I'll get on that, guys, and I'll see you here in a little bit. Okay, so I just want to share with you guys a little bit of some soldering that I'm doing with these surface mounted chips. Like I mentioned before, these are the components that have the highest probability of just cracking away from the board. So what I'm doing here is I'm going along and I'm adding some more solder along these pins, going along each one of the pins. This pitch isn't too high, but for people who aren't really used to soldering, this may be a bit difficult. You may notice here, I've already done a few of them, but there's a big gap between these other ones here, and this is what usually causes the chip to break away. There's not much holding it on. So adding some flux here, and then going, pulling, just push in like this, and then remove out like this. You can see that I'm creating a much stronger bond between these legs here. And just to show you, you can see the difference between the kind of before and the after. It's going to be a bit hard, but there's much more solder holding this down, and from now on this should be a really strong board. This will be one of those boards that you don't have to worry about unless the RAM chip itself decides to go bad, and in that case you'll have to replace it. But as far as it breaking away from the board, you could probably flex this quite a bit and it'll be okay. The thing that you have to be careful about with these is that, you know, bridging can happen really easy, so make sure that you take your time, don't add too much flux, don't add too much solder to the end of the soldering pen, and you should be okay. Let's see if we can do another one here. This one may be a little bit out of focus, but once again, let's go ahead and add some more flux here. I've put a little bit on there just to kind of help seep in, but one at a time here. We'll clean this off and then give it another shot. I need to do this one, but we'll do this one because it's easier for you guys to see. But just like that. You can hear it sizzle too, quite a bit. A lot of these dry solder joints will do that. Some will sizzle quite a bit. You can hear there. Probably a power rail. And like so. Now we've got all this tinned up here, and you should be able to see those are all bridged there. This is not. You can see the line in the bottom. You can't see the line there. So we are going to have to clean this up again with some IPA, clean up the top of the board and remove all the excess flux, but that's what I'm doing here. So I'll get on these ones and I'll show you the final product here in just a minute. Okay, so to give you guys a rundown of what I've done here, I've gone over all of these ICs and RAM and anything surface mounted on this board, and I've strengthened it up quite a bit. I've gone over and tinned up the edges here as far as the connectors go on all sides, and let's see, on here and here, as well as the other sides. I've gotten these all kind of shined up on the ends. So those are all good. And I did find a couple of points where the ICs looked like they had cracked away from the board. So it was probably really good preventative maintenance. If not, maybe that was the problem. I'm not sure if it was an intermittent problem or not. But I figured since we've put this thing back together again, we can go ahead and give it a shot and see how it performs. But hopefully it should be just as good. As long as there's no big changes, that would be great. But you never know. Sometimes with soldering and things like that, you can actually make situations a bit more difficult. Let's plug this guy in here. And let's turn off the lights and then give it a shot. Yep, that looks good. Sounds good. We're still getting like 501 as far as voltage. Everything here is looking great. Doesn't look like any big issues here, which is awesome. I was really a bit worried about that. Didn't want to make the situation here worse with the board, but let's see if we can do some kind of crude gameplay. Like I said, I don't even have all but maybe 3 controls. The other 2 are non-existent. And we need 2 coins to start up here. Let's see.
Board wall.
Let's see if we can do this with just 3 controls. Oh, that's cheap. Yeah. Those projectiles are pretty raw. Doesn't look like it's much better with 2 hands either. So I lost 2 arms there. But it does appear to be playing, so that is a good point here. As far as how well the player is playing, that's a totally different subject. But just want to share with you guys a little bit of a look at a kind of preventative maintenance slash repair slash, you know, tips and techniques video here with you as far as time killers goes. And yeah, that's about all for me for right now. Like always, I'll put up another video here soon. So thanks for watching. Time killers.